What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Fanboys Anonymous Roundtable discussion, and this meeting has been called to order about Christmas movies and Christmas in general. I'm sure we're going to branch off into that a little bit, but I am Anthony Mango, your host, and I am a fanboy. With me today, we have Mike Paden, Sam Lascio, Nick Abrams, and Sean Mitchell.
Yay!
Merry Christmas!
Happy birthday, Jesus!
Yeah!
You Happy Ramadan to you Pastafarians out there.
I don't know. I celebrate with Kwanzaa bot more than anything else.
I've been passing these out for 600 years.
So, there's no real set outline of what to talk about, unlike the Skyfall discussion and each and every week with Smack Talk, where everything's kind of broken down into segment by segment and all that. This is just a couple people bullshitting about whatever we end up talking about. So, I don't know, to get things started off, I'll just say, in general, my favorite Christmas movie is Home Alone. It's really the only one that I watch when it's come to Christmas time. I know everybody usually has, like, when it's Halloween, they watch horror movie marathons, and when it's, well, there's nothing for Thanksgiving. There's no Thanksgiving movies.
Yes,
Thanksgiving.
And the James Bond movie marathon.
Oh, they usually do the Bond movies, yeah.
Hello, it's called football.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck
Nobody
that.
likes football. Get the fuck out of here.
This is a site about geeks. Nobody watches football here. Everybody's like, oh my god, no, that's too scary. But as far as Christmas movies go, I'm not one of those people that goes, oh, I gotta watch It's a Wonderful Life and A Miracle on 34th Street, where she yanks the beard.
Any movie before 1980 that has to do with Christmas is not worth watching.
Pretty much.
I don't agree with that. I like The Year Without a Santa Claus, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like the claymation ones.
Oh,
I
I hate the
haven't heard of any
claymation stuff.
Those scared the shit out of me as a kid, and you know what? They still do. I cannot watch those.
I don't even watch the claymation episode of Community that often. It's just like, I don't know, it's just freaky about it. The way that they move and everything, like, it's like this soulless, the soulless eyes and the weird movement of, what the hell's that video on YouTube with the guy?
The band video with Satan?
Oh my god, are you talking about the one where the thing is like Satan or something?
Yeah, with the children.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about that thing, but that thing's fucking scary as shit. And it's a kid's show out of all things.
Oh my god, I think I know what you're talking about. I love that. And Satan is like explaining the nature of angels or something.
Yeah.
It's Mark Twain's, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
wacky adventures or something. And
That was actually my fun fact. That's my favorite portrayal of Satan in like anything ever. And I'm being dead serious. I thought that was so good. But I also saw it at like 20-something instead of as a kid.
And the little kids are like, what's your name? And the thing's just like, Satan. It's like,
I am Satan.
Why is this show on right after Rocco? But, no,
Get back to those Christmas movies.
Yeah, the claymation stuff I've never been a huge fan of because of the soulless eyes and everything. But as far as the old movies go, I value something like It's a Wonderful Life for what it is, but I will not sit down and watch it just because it's just not as entertaining for me to watch as something else. I mean, I could pop in Terminator 2 at any time and, you know, quote the whole movie and watch it at any time, but I don't do the same with Terminator 1 because it's just one of those movies that I can't sit down and watch all the time. I love it, but, you know, and the same kind of applies with a lot of old movies where it might still be a quality film, like something like It's a Wonderful Life. But at the same time, if you're not a huge fan of watching the film itself, once is enough.
It's a Wonderful Life has a great message, but the problem is it's made in this 50s wholesome morals and values, white picket fence style that's just not relevant today. And that's why we get things like remakes. But the problem with remakes is they make the same mistakes. They, rather than trying to make a completely timeless movie, they try to make it so relevant to the era that it's in, and then it ends up being forgotten 10 years later.
Or they cast somebody like Colin Farrell in
it. It's a Wonderful Life has never really appealed to me, and it's actually kind of funny because I remember reading an article about how it became a Christmas staple completely by accident. When it had first released, it was apparently this huge like flop, this big disaster, and the only reason networks would play it on Christmas is because eventually nobody renewed the rights to it and it became free. So all the networks could just throw it on during Christmas to eat up airtime, and it was an easy way to fill their block out, and eventually it became this staple about like just the Christmas movie. And it's so bad. I'm sorry. I have watched it, and the ideas behind it are good, and Jimmy Stewart's a good actor. I
have to agree with you on that one. He's so fucking weird with the way he talks.
That was really good.
Yeah, Tony, what you were saying before though, like I have the same feelings towards Miracle on 34th Street. Like it's one of those staples of Christmas that like I recognize it as a great film, but I'll never sit down and watch it.
Now, I never saw the first one of it, the 50s one, but I did see the remake from the 90s with that little brat, Mara Wilson.
Never saw
little girl.
Is she the girl from Matilda and all that?
That is the girl from Matilda, and it was unbearable with how bubblegum, doe-eyed cutesiness that she had to have the entire movie. So that's given me a bad taste for that.
Every one of those films in the 90s that she was in, it was just like somebody hitting you with a frying pan and be like, think that she's cute, think that she's cute. Even
tell you
Mrs.
what, man,
Doubtfire.
she's looking pretty good these days, though.
Really?
She's a good-looking mom.
Mom?
She's a good-looking mom. I don't know if she actually is a mom, but she has that mom look.
Oh,
you made me feel real old for a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, dude,
that scared me.
She's in her upper 20s. She could probably be a mom.
She could be, but for her sake, I hope she's not.
Where does she rank on the scale with Christina Lakin from Step by Step? And what's the name of that other girl? The one who was in Heroes. She was in The Nanny.
You're lost on me, man.
She played Gretchen on Heroes. I can't think of her name now. Nick, you were telling me about her before, about how she was...
Yeah. Shit. What was her name?
How she was what?
How she was on Californication or whatever.
Oh, right.
Starts with an M, I think, right? Like Maxine
Molly?
something or Madeline something or...
Madeline Albright, because she's pretty hot.
Oh. Well, listen, I'm glad you brought up The Nanny, because there's a very important Christmas movie I did want to talk to you, especially, Anthony, I know you're associated with your wrestling business news as well.
Madeline
That wrestling business.
Yep.
Santa's Sleigh.
Oh my
Awesome.
God.
With Goldberg.
Awesome.
Starring Bill Goldberg. The opening scene, which is just this uptight white family who just hates each other and is just all horrible people sitting around this Christmas table making horrible comments about how they hope they get nothing but Prada for Christmas and how they're all cheating on each other. And it concludes with Bill Goldberg coming down the chimney like Santa and just slaughtering every single one of them, Fran Drescher included.
See, I don't consider that a Christmas movie though. But I mean, I guess technically it could be.
It's Santa.
And that's one of the finer Christmas movies. As far as everything else that you guys have mentioned that is like a Christmas movie, I fucking hate them.
Even Home Alone?
Except for Home Alone.
All right, good man. I was gonna say, if you hate Home Alone, then
there are few Christmas movies that are technically Christmas movies that are like based on around Christmas and Christmas themed that are actually enjoyable to me. Home Alone being one, Gremlins being two, everything else. I mean, even Nightmare Before Christmas, I can't even tolerate anymore.
I'd rather watch that on Halloween than I would on Christmas.
Right,
Yeah.
same. And the thing about why I hate Christmas movies so much is because, first of all, I fucking hate Christmas. And second of all, during Christmas, like, this is all that's played on TV. You see a Christmas Carol played, and a Christmas Story even, especially a Christmas Story, you see them played on repeat nonstop. Like, Christmas Story is literally played on repeat nonstop on like TNT, all
hours.
Weekend, and it makes me miserable.
you get pretty much oversaturated with a lot of Christmas stuff because every little graphic on TV has like the snow falling, and I mean even with this I'm going to be having the background, it's going to be like snow or something like that.
You bastard.
And you know, they
blood
have
falling from the sky.
yeah, you
with
have
fucking Santa's blood.
like The Night Santa Went Crazy from Weird Al songs.
Why isn't that a movie yet?
The gory version.
Santa's Sleigh.
Oh yeah, okay. Wow.
But even like you start. Well, I don't really listen to the radio in the car, but if you turn on the radio, it's just the ad nauseum Christmas music because it's all royalty free with everything.
Just go to the store.
Yeah, any store. Or
You
unless
don't even
they're
have to get
too,
inside the store. You got the jerk out front with the bell ringing, asking you to give him money.
Sure, trying to raise money for poor kids.
Yeah, fuck him. Salvation Army, my ass. If you're an army, go fight for your money.
I work in Best Buy. That's all we play nonstop
ShopRite
for 12 hours straight.
It's god awful.
At least you don't play that Christmas song from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That is by far the worst Christmas song I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't even know the lyrics of the song. All I know is it's just like the whole fucking movie, and I'm just like, oh god, it's like a cat sang the goddamn song. I think it's supposed to be little kids or something.
Who's
I don't know.
throwing the cut?
Yeah, it's GoldenEye, but very good reference. Yeah, if you aren't a huge fan of the holiday itself, then that causes a problem with a lot of Christmas movies because a lot of them, if they don't have that edge to them, like something like Home Alone does, where the jokes are actually pretty funny, or I personally think that Bad Santa's pretty funny. If they don't have that part to it, which if you remove the Christmas element of it, it would still be an interesting movie. Then it just becomes this morality tale, and everything is like, oh, you gotta believe in Santa and all that. I'll get to that in a minute because there's something I wanted to bring up, an old article I wrote for Out on Limbs, but about the whole thing with Christmas movies and Santa Claus. But yeah, if you're not a fan of Christmas itself, it's got to be a lot harder to get into. But why out of all of them to talk a little bit about the Home Alone thing, what is it about Home Alone that you do like, as opposed to like what sets that apart? Is it because of the fact that it's not just a Christmas movie, it's more about a kid doing stupid shit?
Well, personally, I've always hated both of those actors, Daniel Stern and what's his face, so it's just good to see a little kid beat their ass over. I'm just kidding.
Don't
hit me, Joe Pesci.
I think I liked that movie so much because my family is very dysfunctional, and all I wanted for Christmas since I was a child is to be the fuck away from them, and also shoot things with BB guns.
And a talk boy.
Oh, the Talk Boy was awesome. I got that immediately after seeing that movie when I got a chance.
Oh, another Christmas movie that I actually enjoy a lot is Scrooged.
Yes.
Bill Murray's
man. I forgot all about that movie. That's a really good movie.
Yes.
Now, do you watch Groundhog Day and Groundhog Day?
I love Groundhog's Day, but I never watch it on Groundhog's Day.
Good movie.
I love that movie.
I watch Groundhog Day on any day.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
yeah.
But you have to put it on repeat.
At least 3 times to fully appreciate the movie.
Scrooged is a movie that I know I've seen, but I honestly can't tell you anything about it other than the fact that Bill Murray's in it and that he runs he's like a director or something like that. It's one of those things I watched on TV maybe like 6 years ago, and I can't remember crap about it. Isn't like Andy McDowell in it too?
Yeah. Yeah, watch it, dude. Watch it this year.
I might have to, yeah. One movie that I used to like when I was a kid, as far as Christmas movies go, was The Muppet Christmas Carol or Christmas Story or whatever. Their
Just
version
wanted
of
to
it.
talk about that. I love that movie. The 2 old men who are playing the 2 ghosts that come to visit him first.
Marley and Marley.
Yes.
Or, was it 2 Marley names or is it something else?
Oh, gosh, I haven't seen the movie in like 15 years, man. But I watched that movie 10 times every Christmas season when I was a young kid.
Gonzo Scrooge?
Wasn't what?
Wasn't Gonzo Scrooge?
No, Michael Caine was Scrooged.
Yeah, Alfred.
Scrooge.
What was Gonzo in that movie?
Gonzo.
I don't
wasn't
remember.
Kermit.
Kermit was Cratchit. And Tiny Tim was like Little Kermit or whatever his name is. Gonzo. I don't remember who Gonzo was in it. I remember the little rabbit dude was singing in the movie because I always thought that he was cool. And he goes and buys like the Christmas turkey or whatever. He's like, oh man, they give the big turkey to the little guy. That's so funny when I was a little kid. Like,
You thought the rat was cool?
the little mouse guy or rabbit or whatever he is. I don't know.
He's a rat. He's a rat.
He's a rat?
Yeah.
The little one.
Rizzo? Yeah, Rizzo.
Oh, wait, no, maybe he's a rabbit.
No, not Rizzo the rat. I'm not talking about him.
That's who I thought you meant.
Shit, I gotta find it now because that's gonna bother me.
Gonzo, I think, was Dickens.
Oh, maybe.
Because
Beaten
his
Bunny
nose.
is apparently his name.
Dickens.
It's got a wicked hook. He's got to leave that thing alone.
But yeah, as far as like the little kid movies like that, like I always liked the Muppet version of it, but I don't like any real hardcore. This is the true story that Dickens wrote type of thing with that. And a lot of movies that people call classics, I'm just not a big fan of. A lot of classics in general, not even Christmas movies being the umbrella of it, but a lot of things that people are like, oh, well, it's a classic. I'm like, well, who fucking cares? It's a classic because it was the only thing out at the time and everybody went to go see it. Like,
oh, I disagree with that because I'm something of a movie buff myself, and not to get too far off the topic, but if you talk to just about any person who's really into film and cinema, they're going to talk about, like, Citizen Kane, for example.
well, I do like Kane.
Which is a classic and is completely worth all the positive things that are said about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of classics that, something like The Godfather, it's like if you don't consider that a classic, then there's got to be something wrong with you. But a lot of things, I think, just get that classic term because of the fact that they were in the right place at the right time and all that. And even something with, like, the Christmas movies, like you were saying, It's a Wonderful Life has become a classic. It wasn't at the time, and I think a lot of it's the reputation that's built up over the years of everybody knows that It's a Wonderful Life is a classic. So a lot of people, they just go, well, it's a classic and I like it, The
way I see it, there's two kind of Christmas movies that really come off as being successful entertainment, and that is when it's an action movie or even some other kind of movie that just kind of has Christmas as an extra theme in it, as someone was saying earlier, something like Die Hard. Even Batman Returns has a nice little Christmas element added into it. Or the more modern Christmas comedies seem to be the things that really hit it well. Bad Santa, the Harold and Kumar Christmas movie, and my personal favorite, Jingle All the Way.
I knew that was coming. God damn it. God damn you.
Put that cookie down.
It's the Terminator and Sinbad facing off against each other, trying to locate the hottest Christmas toy of the year, and hijinks just ensue around every corner.
Now that's one of those movies that is on my list of why haven't I ever seen this. It's along with stuff like Raging Bull and everybody's gonna go, what? Why haven't you seen this? Back to the Future.
What?
Well,
exactly.
Stop recording.
I actually knew that.
Yeah.
Listen,
End
Tony,
podcast. Go watch Back to the Future.
just recently acquired the trilogy. We will watch it together, okay?
I want to be in for that.
Okay.
All three at once.
At once.
Please take
back.
care of that.
Yeah, see, it's on that list of out of all these movies I've seen, and I've seen tons and tons and tons of movies. I mean, I broke the website Ginny for a little bit because they said you've rated too many movies and TV shows. We don't know what to do with you. Come back in a few more months and start doing it again. And out of all that, it's something I just never got around to. So I've always heard good things about Jingle All the Way and about how it's typical Arnold Schwarzenegger, ludicrous, awesome. But I've never actually sat down and watched it. I've seen bits and pieces over the years, but
He looks awesome in the costume.
Was it Turbo Man?
Yeah, he's sort of Iron Man-ish.
He's the Turbo Man.
He's the Turbo Man, though.
Well, look, I mean, I don't remember who said it, but somebody said that, like, the more recent Christmas comedies are the ones that are successful. I don't exactly agree with that. I mean, in the last 20 years, I actually enjoyed, like, the Santa Claus. We already discussed Home Alone, but they had one called, like, Arthur Christmas. It was some cartoon. I didn't enjoy the Polar Express. There hasn't exactly been
You're talking about the animated ones. I mean, those have been garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you include, like, the Shrek Christmas movie and all those. No. I'm not counting those.
A live-action Christmas that I actually enjoyed lately was Elf.
Ooh. That's a good one to bring up, because that actually, if any of them over the recent years has become the most popular out of all of them, it probably is Elf.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Elf, so I can't really weigh in on that, but it is surprisingly popular.
Yeah, it has a cult following behind it, especially with Will Ferrell.
Especially with Zooey Deschanel, I think you meant to say.
Dear
That was
Lord,
her?
yes.
I haven't seen that in such a long time. She was the blonde, the one that sings at the end.
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
that
yeah.
girl that I would do things to in everything.
In her butt.
That's, I think, what we meant by in everything. But Polar Express I didn't see.
You don't want to. It's a goddamn nightmare.
It's boring as fuck.
And it's hilarious because I'll every now and then around this time of year catch my dad watching it on TV.
Tearing up.
And I don't know if he's tearing up because as far as I was raised, the man's a heartless bastard. But but it's so funny because it's such an equal mix of everything I hate about adaptations and everything I hate about awkward, almost kind of realistic computer animation. And it takes that and balls it up into one ooey gooey, you're supposed to like people kind of message. And it's just...
Didn't it have a song about hot chocolate at one point?
I can only hope so, because that would be its only redeeming value. Because who doesn't want to sing about hot chocolate?
What was the other one you mentioned? You mentioned Polar Express. Oh, Santa Claus. That's what it was. I actually liked Santa Claus when I was growing up.
The Santa Claus and the Santa Claus 2. I didn't like the third one, actually.
I didn't see the third one. I don't know if I've seen the second one or not.
The second one is where he gets a wife, like a Mrs. Claus.
No, I didn't see that one. But the first one I did see, and I did enjoy that one as a kid.
Yeah.
And the whole, the scene where he's like, he's getting fat, so he orders a whole bunch for lunch, and everybody else is ordering like salad and all that. Of course, when you're a kid, little stuff like that goes a long way.
Yeah, and like he shaves his beard off, and then like within moments it grows back.
Yeah, that was like quality Tim Allen '90s stuff back then. Home Improvement and For Richer or Poorer and all that kind of stuff.
Quality and Tim Allen used to go together.
Before all the cocaine.
I think the cocaine came first.
Yeah,
I
think that was beforehand. I think we can attribute the way that he talks in Home Alone from the cocaine abuse. But yeah, quality and Tim Allen compared to the stuff from now. If you watch his new show, I saw about 20 minutes of the show, and I was just like, this is absolutely awful. I will never watch this. And for some reason, it's still on.
He has a show?
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Hey, guys. It's been over half an hour we're into this now. How have we gone this far and not talked about You're a Mean One, Mr.
Oh,
Grinch?
wow. Yeah.
I was thinking about that when we were talking about the like claymation ones. I was going to mention that.
All right, yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah.
Which version do you like better?
I like the Grinch. I like the Grinch because I identify most with him. Up until the end, when he grows a heart.
When he turns into a pussy.
Yeah, I'll never do that.
When he has that heart attack and it like swells up and
he doesn't realize what he's doing, but he's giving away all of his riches.
That's a gross medical condition.
That's not very American to redistribute wealth.
No.
Well, that's why they're in Whoville or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're in Whoville.
What do you guys think about the new one compared to the old one?
I never saw the new one, but
I liked the Jim Carrey one, actually.
I only saw it once a very, very long time ago, so I really don't remember too much. But
I enjoyed Jim Carrey's portrayal of the Grinch, but the movie had this unpleasant visual thing to it. Like all the colors, I don't know how to describe it. They were like this dark pastel was all the colors they used for the movie, and everyone just looked ugly. And there was always these really close-ups to their faces, so you see these weird noses that they have and the weird jaw lines they sculpted. I don't know what they were thinking, but
they hired a bunch of people.
It was that one actress who actually didn't have any makeup or prosthetics on her face, who actually looked like a Who. What is her freaking name? It escapes me. I'm not going to look it up right now. I don't care enough.
It really was. If you brought Doctor Who, oh my God, if you actually brought a Dr. Seuss movie to life, I think the Grinch is probably the closest you're gonna get.
Taylor Momsen?
Hop on Pop.
Is that who you're talking about?
I don't care.
Blonde girl, Cindy Lou Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't
No, not the girl who played Cindy. The woman. She's like a grown woman. And Cindy. She looked like a Who too. She didn't need any prosthetics.
I don't know. I never saw the movie, but I kind of always just assumed that it was Jim Carrey being Ace Ventura, looking like the Grinch.
Kind of his return to that, yeah.
Does he like start talking out of his ass again in this?
I wish.
I think he does. I think there is a point where he does that. There's this one point where when the girl first comes to his lair, and every line he just like disappears off screen and then reappears on the complete opposite side of the room on top of like a box, and then disappears again, and then appears on the other side behind a wall. He just flips out every other line. And I think it's during there, at some point there he does talk out of his butt.
Yeah.
The way Dr. Seuss imagined. He was trying to write different rhymes for that, and he was just kind of like, I don't know if this is going to sell for a kid's story.
I mean, call me a little biased here, but I'm waiting for the live-action adaptation of Green Eggs and Ham.
You say that now, but 2014...
Yeah.
They've already been doing they did that Cat in the Hat movie, and it'll come eventually.
Ugh.
But,
did they think that since The Grinch was successful that they could get Mike Myers dressed as the Cat in the Hat and that they could just pull it off?
I don't know what they're
room fell silent.
I don't know.
I saw Cat in the Hat the same day I saw Elf. I did a double feature that day. And I actually went into it that day, some reason thinking that the Cat in the Hat would be the better movie I saw that day. And I was so wrong.
Well, there's clearly something wrong with you for assuming that in the first place.
Hey, Mike Myers was hot at the time. This was like just after Austin Powers came out.
Was it
really? Sometimes that happens when you do multiple movies at a theater one shot. I went one time to see Terminator 3.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, it was the second time that I had seen it. Terminator 3, which already had disappointed me beforehand. The first Hulk movie, and Pirates of the Caribbean. And I remember I was sitting there going, well, I didn't like Terminator 3 because it shot all over the series. And Hulk is a superhero movie, so I'm probably going to like that a whole lot. And Pirates, it might be okay. And by the end of the night, I didn't pay for a Terminator 3. I wasn't going to do that. Our AMC doesn't really check shit. But I was like, this Hulk movie sucks. And then I'm like,
are you talking about the Ang Lee one?
Yeah. And then I'm like, Pirates actually is better than I thought. And, it always ends up happening when you go in multiple movies. You got to compare them to each other and all that. So, not too surprised that you had the Cat in the Hat and Elf situation pop up like that. But the old Grinch is something that I can't watch either. Like, going back to the classic notion, I can't sit and watch that old Grinch movie.
The animation's really lazy.
It's been too overdone. But like playing it once a year, because if they played it more than once a year, it would be ridiculous. But even just once a year eventually got to the point where it's like, all right, I get it. Like it was fun the first couple times I saw it, but it just, because it's all about like trying to be all Christmas, it doesn't have any staying power.
A lot of it too, I think, has to do with when you grow up, your sense of time and your perception of time and everything changes a whole lot, and you can't really notice it until you think back to the way that you used to perceive the events, that when you would come home from school and it would seem like an entire extra day went by, but it was really only a couple hours, because when you're a kid, you come home from school, say 3:00, you go to bed early, and in those few hours you accomplished so much stuff. But nowadays, I mean, when we're in our 20s and everything, you can go sometimes 3 months and not talk to a friend of yours and just be like, oh shit, where did the time go? Like, let alone when you were a kid and Mike was saying earlier, he would watch a movie 10 times, in a row. And it's like that really burns itself into your memory when you're a kid. And that's why you can watch something like Toy Story or The Grinch in that situation, and you remember so much of it from when you were a kid because you watch it a couple times and it seems like you watched it over this huge amount and everything, when it was just this little microcosm of your life in that time period. And that actually, to call back to the whole why haven't I seen Back to the Future thing too, is a lot of those movies that I haven't seen like that, I just never got into as a kid, and those are the ones that people grow up and they're like, I loved Indiana Jones because of watching that as a kid, and I loved Star Wars as a kid, and so a lot of these Christmas movies I think have that kind of an appeal too, because if you watched Grinch when you were a kid, chances are you watched it every year, and that once a year was a huge thing. Now a year goes by, and I still think to myself every once in a while that it's last August of 2011, not the 2012 August. That's 6 months away from now. So I don't know. I think that causes a problem with people like us, because maybe there's kids nowadays that are watching these upcoming Christmas movies and they're the classics to them. Like what's like a Christmas movie that's out now? I can't even think of any.
A Shrek Christmas.
Shrek has a Christmas movie?
It was more of a short, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see it.
I saw the first Shrek. That was enough.
I think it was a short. Not that really. I don't really know, but.
Well, let's just say, because I know that this is an animated movie that's out right now, I saw Wreck-It Ralph, and that's not a Christmas movie at all, but it's, that typical kid-aimed not Christmas movie, animation movie and everything like that. That, to me, I thought was actually pretty quality film.
Yeah,
I don't think that was made for kids.
It was an awesome movie.
I still haven't seen it.
It was made for kids, but it was definitely one of those movies that
How could it be made for kids when it has, like, Q*bert and Sonic the Hedgehog and those characters? If it was for kids, wouldn't they just have like Master Chief?
Sonic the Hedgehog still exists these days.
And
but who plays his games?
They're cartoons. Kids won't know the difference.
Sonic Generations was fantastic, I'll have you know.
Yeah, it's the kids are just gonna look at a funny looking character in Q*bert and just look at that. He's looks like a tube with a.
I think the movie was really
for all ages. I'd say
it was made for people like us, because I mean, if you watched, all of you saw the movie, or was it just Tony?
I saw it.
Did you see when they played the game Fix It Felix Jr.? That was basically the original game, Donkey Kong and Mario.
Right. But I mean, it still is a kid's film. I mean, they don't. For people like us, it would be in the middle of it. Everybody starts cursing at each other and all that kind of stuff, and there's no scene where Wreck-It Ralph is like, "Fuck it, Felix, come on."
I thought there was going to be a market though for people that were our age that remember the classic video game.
Yeah, but I mean, a kid nowadays seeing that movie, that might be their equivalent of the original Toy Story to people like us, where that's like that classic. Yeah. And 10 years from now, we're going to hear people that are like, "Oh, Wreck-It Ralph, I remember that shit." Like, so a Christmas movie that's out now, I really can't think of any, because right now there's like nothing really going on as far as I can remember. That's like Christmas. It's The Hobbit and
Home Alone 5.
Really?
Yeah.
There really is a Home Alone 5?
I just looked up the list, and I'm looking up the most current ones. We got A Fairly Odd Christmas, which I totally want to see, and Home Alone 5.
Oh my God. There
was a 4?
Home Alone 3, and I
exactly.
excised that from my memory.
I remember 3 had a different kid. I didn't know there was a 4.
Yeah.
They tried to get Macaulay Culkin for 3, but I mean, he was just too old and cracked out at the time to be lovable anymore.
I still think one of the best jokes on the old TV show The Critic was when they were like, it was like Home Alone 3 or something like that, and they're like, "Oh my God, we left Kevin at home, and he's only 28."
And he slaps his face and does that, and he's got like a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah, he had stubble.
Yeah. God, that show was fantastic. But yeah, I mean, some kid nowadays, he might go to see Home Alone 5, and that might be Home Alone to him. Which, if it is, it's fucking pathetic and sad.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the difference of when our parents and such, when they would watch movies, they would watch the stuff like Miracle on 34th Street, and to them that was the classic Christmas movie, and to us it's the Home Alone, and it's that kind of stuff. So
the Home Alone.
Well, the Home Alone, because I don't count the number 3 and 4 and 5. It's Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
2 was so good.
Home Alone 2 was good.
Man, he's in New York now, and he made friends with that old fat transient.
Who probably smelled like fish and onions. Ugh.
What's sadly odd about that is your fish and onion smell. I can totally see both of those.
Yeah.
Like, that's very specific, and it immediately resonates in my mind as perfectly valid smell that you probably...
That's terrible, and I just want to have to say that I pity the both of you.
Another drink to that one? Yeah.
Yeah, let me pour it for you. So, if I may have the floor for a second, this is kind of a recent thing for me, but there are a couple Christmas. I really don't know what quite to label this as, but for the Whovians out there, Doctor Who does do a Christmas episode each season, and they're not particularly Christmas-y. They just air on Christmas, and they're kind of maybe have a little bit to do with something kind of winter themed, and they seem to be for my money the best current quote unquote Christmas kind of tradition for our age group, I would say.
What do they typically do? Because I've never watched an episode of Doctor Who.
Well, the last year, as it's the most recent in my mind, I can recall it the easiest, was about a woman who her husband is a bomber pilot, and it's either World War I or II, and his plane goes down before Christmas, and she's trying to keep it from her kids, and they vacation in this huge mansion, and the doctor ends up being like the caretaker of this mansion, and he has this magical Christmas present to help the children that takes them to this weird snow world with these sentient Christmas trees. And long story short, she ends up being able to save her husband like in the crashing plane, and it's all heartwarming, and it's a little too ooey gooey for me. But it's very interesting to watch play out, because it's got a level of intellectuality to it that is common amongst like Doctor Who episodes, but is very absent from most generic Christmas fare. And it all manages to be interesting in that clever Doctor Who sort of way.
In the first season of the New Who, didn't they do like a Christmas Carol? Didn't they? It was like they went back to the year that story was written, and they like talked to the author and stuff, and they actually gave him inspiration for the story or something.
There was one episode where they go back. It was with Tennant, and I think it might have been Rose. It might have been really early, and they meet Dickens, and they inspire a story that he ends up not finishing before he dies. But it wasn't. I don't think it was a Christmas special. They just met Dickens.
Oh, and by the way, that noise that you keep hearing is my wait for it. That's my Christmas present for Sean. I got him a sonic screwdriver.
I've been playing with
it. Pretty awesome.
Well, that brings up a topic that we can also talk about, instead of just running down Christmas movies, about Christmas specials on TV. And a lot of shows, they kind of build episodes around certain holidays. I mean, there's like the Valentine's Day love episodes, and then there's the whole the family gets together and Thanksgiving is ruined kind of a thing and all that. And Christmas is one of those. Halloween episodes, of course, are on top of that too. But
that time that the family of Wookiees invited Han Solo over for Christmas, and then B. Arthur was singing a song at the cantina in Mos Eisley.
If I remember correctly, Lucas doesn't even remember that, and he just goes, "No, it didn't exist." Just the same as he's probably going to say with Episode 7.
A lot of my favorite.
Stand by Jar Jar Binks. You damn well better stand by your own Christmas special.
Yeah, for real.
A lot of shows do those Christmas specials, and I think the show that always hits the mark, because it's one of my favorite shows, is South Park. And the one I would have to mention specifically is the Woodland Critter Christmas special.
I forgot all about that. That is so good.
So good.
I mean, there's a lot of classic Christmas shows. I mean, the very first episode of The Simpsons was Christmas.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped into my mind when.
I mean, there's the Xmas episodes of Futurama. There's the latest Christmas episode of Family Guy, where they have the song with Santa and the elves.
Well, it's Festivus for the rest of us.
I need to celebrate Festivus.
Yeah. Strength.
I want to touch upon three things there with the Simpsons, Seinfeld, and then and also South Park. First off, South Park. it's funny that they actually started off with their holiday special, the whole Jesus
that
Santa
thing.
Claus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first incarnation of South Park back when Kenny wasn't an actual character. Kenny was the name of Cartman and everything like that. And
Yeah.
It was like a college project or a high school project, wasn't it?
yeah, something like that got passed around to people like George Clooney and everything. It was like this underground
It
video.
was viral before the internet was around.
Right, yeah, it was just the first viral video for the most part, except for I'm sure there was like shit in the 70s or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get technical, I think Clerks was the first viral video because
Winnebago Man.
that's probably older than Clerks.
Yeah.
There's a documentary about Winnebago Man.
I watched it a couple years ago. It's very interesting.
yeah, like South Park starts off with that. The Simpsons starts off with Simpsons roasting on an open fire. Classic episode, of course, because it was not only the first one, but it's also the one that brings Santa's little helper into the group and gives him his namesake. Otherwise, for anybody watching the show that has no idea why he's named that, and just it happened, in the middle of fucking March. December whatever it was in 1989 when that Simpsons came out like that was the launching point for that too, and it's a really solid ground to move off on when it comes to TV.
Which actually really pisses me off because the second episode of The Simpsons came out after I was born, so I am not older than The Simpsons by one episode.
Wow.
That's a kind of very weird thing to be angry about.
I'm pissed my parents didn't fuck
one episode earlier than The Simpsons.
Couldn't have done it a couple weeks beforehand.
And Sam's thinking, oh my god, they had sex to make me? Ew!
No! You were the Sith.
But the Festivus.
I was born in July, so my parents might have had sex on Christmas.
Ew.
I don't know if I was a little early.
Ew.
Your dad was early.
Now I'm thinking of all of our parents having sex
Together at the same time.
Oh, they had a
Santa wasn't the only thing that got some cookies at Christmas.
Not the presents weren't the only thing that was swapped on Christmas.
See, in my house, we always left a carrot out for Rudolph. I thought that carrot went in the reindeer, not in my mother.
All right, before we get too much into that,
Jesus Christ.
The Festivus thing, very, very classic episode of Seinfeld, where George used to not celebrate Christmas, they used to celebrate Festivus, and there was, instead of the Christmas tree, there was the Festivus pole, and the airing of grievances, and I know for like 2 years in a row or something like that on MySpace and Facebook, whichever one it was, I think it was MySpace, I went around and I sent messages to every single person of the picture of the invitation or the gift that George gave everybody about the donation's been made in your name to the Human Fund.
Yeah.
I want to do that some year for a legitimate Christmas gift and just see if somebody catches on that it's a Seinfeld thing. But for anybody who celebrates Festivus, that's like is it the 22nd or the 23rd?
23rd.
Who cares? It's a religion started by a TV show. It's really not
December
that big a deal.
23rd. So in a few days, happy Festivus, everybody.
We won't be around to see it.
No.
Nah, yeah, because the world's going to end on the 21st.
Yeah.
I wrote a post about that on outonlimbs.com, which brings me up to that old point that I wanted to get back to originally. A post I put last year up on Out on Limbs is the major flaw in Christmas movies, where something that bothers me about Christmas movies is a lot of them are predicated on the idea that you have to believe in Santa Claus. And it instills this notion that there's always at least a couple characters. Usually there's one character that believes, it's a little kid or something like that. Everybody else is like, well, we're too busy for the holidays and all this kind of stuff. And in the end, you turn out that Santa's real and, everybody believes again and everybody's happy and the family gets back together and all this kind of nonsense. Typical Hallmark shit. The problem with it, though, is that for that to work, you have to assume that these parents weren't buying gifts for their kids all this time. And the kids were just getting gifts from Santa Claus. So, wouldn't they, out of all the humans in the whole world that don't believe in Santa Claus, wouldn't they after a while just go, hey, how the hell did my kid get that fire truck toy or whatever like that? I didn't buy that for him. Maybe there is a Santa Claus, some fucking guy breaking into our house.
I just always assumed that it was the parents were buying gifts for their children, but some children in the world were getting gifts from Santa. And so they had to believe again, and Santa would come back. I always thought it was some bullshit like that.
Like Santa's not giving it to everybody; he's just giving it to like a select few.
The people who actually still believe. You know, like Jesus Christ. He only gives it to the people who believe. The rest of you bastards call brimstone.
What a dick. That's, you know what? Yeah, screw Jesus. Screw Christmas, too. This shit's gay.
If both Santa and Jesus want people to believe, they should pop out into the open instead of doing things secretly.
They should come out of the closet, god damn it.
Wait, what's this new movie that came out where like Santa Claus is some sort of like warrior or something, and he's like fighting with the Easter Bunny?
The Guardians or whatever, the fucking...
Yeah. What the fuck is that all?
Guardians?
I don't know. I kind of want to see it just because of those little elf guys. They look funny.
It was actually very disturbing. I saw a preview for it. And like the Tooth Fairy's in it, and she's talking to a child about teeth that were knocked out, and they've got blood and like gum on them or something.
Awesome.
It was written by the guy from Santa Sleigh.
Since we were talking about 2012 and TV Christmas specials, I think my favorite of all time Christmas special TV show would have to be the X-Files Christmas episode when Mulder and Scully go to that haunted house and they encounter the elderly couple that committed suicide on Christmas like so many years ago, and they haunt the house every Christmas and whatnot. I'm also a huge X-Files nerd, so...
Yeah, I love the X-Files.
Would you say you're an X-Files fanboy?
Yeah, I'm an X-Filer, actually.
If you had a mustache, like that twirly kind of mustache, you totally should have stroked it when you said that. One of the Hercule Poirot mustaches. Yeah, so we covered Home Alone. We covered a lot of the classic movies like that. One other classic movie that I wanted to just run down in a little bit is I do not see at all what is so fucking good about A Christmas Story.
Nothing. It's the lamp, man. Don't you get the lamp? It's just so ironic.
If I go my entire life without ever hearing anybody say, you're going to shoot your eye out again, it'll be too fucking soon.
It's fragile, man. It's puffy coats and
bowling trophies.
And bowling
I can't
trophies.
put my arms down.
Can anybody explain to me why the Wizard of Oz was in that movie?
Well, because the kid licked the pole and his tongue got stuck to it, and then
Kid can lick my pole.
And that movie fucking sucks, and I hate it. God damn it.
It's one of those films that it seems like if you either absolutely love the movie, like you can just have an orgasm thinking about it any time of the year, or you're somebody like what seems like everybody here where it's just like fuck this movie. Like,
I'll say the only funny part in that entire movie though comes in the last 3 minutes when they burn the Christmas dinner and they have to go to the Chinese restaurant, and the Chinese restaurateurs have to sing Christmas carols for them, and they go fa ra 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 ra.
God damn racist.
Supplies. Nobody likes UFC or UHF.
What, the Weird Al movie?
Yeah.
With Kramer.
Supplies.
What were you saying, Sam?
One of my friends keeps
like
trying
back in the day when like racism is totally different from now. You couldn't get away with that right now.
You don't think you could?
Well, how many people do you think would be up in arms if you had like people going to a Chinese restaurant on Christmas and they're singing fa ra 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 ra?
I'd be okay with it.
I'm gonna go this year, and if they don't, I'm pressing charges.
They're not authentic Chinese.
But yeah, they're the people that do like A Christmas Story that might be watching this or whatever. Please tell me what you like about it because I don't see it at all. I mean, there's movies that people just absolutely love, and Wizard of Oz is one of them. I'm not a fan of Wizard of Oz, and it seems like you either love it or you think it's creepy and dumb, and I'm one of the people that just is not a fan of it. And Christmas
When I
Story.
was a little kid,
What's on
the
your
Wicked Witch scared the hell out of me. But I was a little kid. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, it was just her nose, I guess.
Yeah, she had a hurt bump on it.
But no, seriously though, I mean, A Christmas Story was good the first couple times I saw it. But once again, it's back to the oversaturation. They just play it to absolute death, to the point where there's absolutely nothing that's really making it worth watching the 20th time, the 30th time, especially when it's 20 or 30 times in one night.
Yeah,
It
reminds me of
knock that off.
reminds me of my childhood, which I didn't like. So, I mean, there's nothing about that movie that's enjoyable to me at all.
Human beings like stuff they're comfortable with, and they like repetition. So they know that movie. They know it's a safe movie.
Adults do not like repetition.
A lot of adults love repetition.
My dad likes repetition.
Batchers. I like that.
Santa. Presents. They did make a Christmas version of that.
Yeah, that's funny that I brought it up. Interesting.
Accidentally.
So, is there any other real broad kind of topics that we haven't touched upon yet? I can't think of anything off the top of my head that we.
Candy canes. Candy canes are lethal. I was in 8th grade Spanish one time, and a kid, I'm not even kidding, sucked on his candy cane till it was sharp enough that he stabbed another kid. And there was
Goldberg
blood.
killed a guy like that in Santa's sleigh. He also killed a guy by spearing him through a butcher's glass display.
This happened. It was awesome.
Wasn't like the reindeer that pulled his sleigh to like bison?
Yeah, it was a bison.
I think the only thing we haven't talked about is the 1996 movie Jack Frost, where a snowman killed people.
Oh, hell yeah.
We also didn't talk about the Michael Keaton one where a snowman came back to love his son.
Oh.
They should have just combined the movies. Michael Keaton turns into Beetlejuice, and he's a snowman and kills his son.
And
Didn't in the one where like the snowman was murderous, didn't he take his nose out and like fuck a girl with it in the shower or something?
What?
Wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
I haven't seen it personally.
And now I want to see it.
Frankly,
Sean's
I should
mom?
run it tomorrow and then beat off.
I think it's on Netflix, to be honest with you.
Really?
I think it is.
There's another one out there that we haven't touched on. Another, oh my god, this movie is so stupid. Reindeer Games. The Ben Affleck movie.
Oh.
He summed it all up and just, oh.
Oh.
I think, if I remember correctly, I saw it in the theaters. It's something like a bunch of robbers dress up as Santa Claus and like shoot up a casino or something.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Yeah, Rudolph wasn't invited.
So. Is there a movie where Ben Affleck doesn't dress up and shoot up somewhere?
Good Will Hunting.
I was just gonna say that.
That or
Mallrats. He didn't shoot anything in Mallrats. Yeah, Jack Frost is on Netflix, by the way.
It totally is. Both of them, actually.
Oh, there was another one?
Well, the other one was the Michael Keaton movie.
Yeah. I think I know what I'm watching after this podcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
A Jack Frost marathon. First one, then the other.
Then the other again. You're gonna play them both at the same time and see if they sync up like Dark Side of the Moon.
There happens to be one scene where Michael Keaton takes his nose off and fucks a girl in the shower with it.
You're like, I don't remember this when I watched that 2 movies ago.
This seems in stark contrast to the rest of this film.
He just like fucks his son in the ass with it.
Oh no!
Come here, son. It's time to play catch.
Catch.
Or he does it with an icicle. That way, the evidence just melts away.
Dude,
That is some
really good.
that is some odd.
I don't want to end this. I don't want to end this podcast. It's just joke after joke. It's good.
That was a weird plan to set up though, Sam. Like very, almost like thought out ahead of time. If I do something with an icicle, all the things will go away. It's like
You're doing good in college, huh, Sam?
Oh yeah.
it's the chemist in him.
This is what Penn State University teaches me.
Well, that makes sense.
Somebody want to make a joke about it?
Which part did they teach you? How to get away with sodomizing children, or the icicle thing?
Well, the other guy didn't get away with it, so I guess we need another class on that one.
I don't know. I'd say a 30-year-some career is getting away with it.
What's the rule? Do as I say, not as I do. Learn from your mistakes.
Somehow Christmas has become sodomy.
As God intended.
I don't know. It kind of goes with Nick saying that Christmas can go fuck itself and everything. So.
That's true. It did go full circle.
It'll end with everybody full circle with the Home Alone thing. We're just going to transfer the Michael Keaton kid to Macaulay Culkin, and everything's just going to get too bad, and we're going to have to shut it off.
We're going to start talking about Party Monster.
Party Monster?
Huh?
Yeah, what is Party Monster?
You guys have never seen Party Monster?
I haven't heard
Macaulay
of it.
Culkin and Marilyn Manson.
Really? You've never seen that movie? The gayest movie of all time? Seth Green's in it. He's gay as
That's probably
shit.
why we didn't see it.
Huh?
That's probably why we didn't see it.
Oh,
You guys
Seth
are
Green
so
alone.
homophobic. It's so fucking just whatever. You're beneath, Mary.
Okay,
You're talking to somebody that's watched Hercules in New York, and I still haven't even seen that. There's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie for you. I don't know what is that, Christmas movie, or is that just a bad movie?
Cricket.
What was that?
Cricket.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, nobody wanted to respond. Instead, just crickets. Okay.
They're still thinking about Michael Keaton fucking a boy with an icicle.
Man, I need it in my life, apparently.
Oh, I love Venus. Yeah, Venus rules.
Well,
No.
is there any other topics that we haven't touched upon? Because I'm out of ideas.
I had Christmas carolers come to my job today.
What? Do Christmas carols still even exist?
It was traditional Christmas carolers on West Point today.
Wow.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was just like a huddle of people. They came in front of where I was. They sang a couple songs. They
And
moved to
then
the
you
next
threw them
building
out.
and did it again. And they just were going around singing songs for people.
Did everybody actually pay attention to them, or did they just kind of awkwardly ignore them and act like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to work?
People were like sticking themselves out the windows and like cheering for them, but I think it's just because it's finals week and people are happy to finally be leaving school.
Oh God, yes.
I would have screamed. I would have fucking raged so hard. Like, shut the fuck up. I hear these songs every day for hours on end. Fuck off. But, I mean, that's just me, and I'm a bitter fucking soul, so.
He says as he takes another swig of alcohol.
How did you know? That was literally what just happened.
I'm actually God.
Tony's in the room.
Yeah.
You know what we could talk about?
We might be doing this on Skype, but I'm pulling it off somehow.
What about that Pennsylvania lottery holiday commercial that plays this time every year? It hasn't changed since like 1980 something. This holiday season, my good friend gave to me 5 cash.
Oh, that was so good.
Like, what the hell is? Are you really too lazy to remake a fucking lottery commercial?
Well, hey, it's like the Can song at
Yeah,
Shop.
how does a commercial become holiday tradition?
It's that and the Hershey's Kiss commercial.
Oh, see, I don't mind the Hershey Kiss commercial.
That's a
commercial
classic. That's
because
awesome because it's so
music.
simple and it's so effective. It's
Well, I mean, what about the Eminem commercial where they're like, he does exist.
They do exist.
Dude, I missed the fucking polar bears from Coca-Cola.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't seen a
You
single polar
little
bear. I'm like,
fuckers.
well,
They were so cute.
they're all dead now. That's why they can't do it.
global warming.
The whole
No child would believe that these are living animals.
Children are like, wait, what? What are polar?
What's a
Polar
white bear doing?
Who is that? Snow? I've never seen. What? White?
is that the commercial that goes like Santa Claus is coming and they keep replacing that over again? The
What?
last like 30 seconds of the song, they're just going Santa Claus is coming, and it sounds like a horror movie almost.
That sounds exactly.
Santa
like
Claus is coming. Ho ho! Oh yeah!
Have you guys ever heard the parody of Iron Man that goes, "I am Santa Claus"?
No, I haven't.
No.
So, how does it go? What's the rest of the lyrics? You're singing the rest of the song now.
Oh, I don't know. Something like, "Can't you hear him? Ho ho ho." That's like the only line I know.
I think I need this in my life.
There you go. It's just gonna become this this marathon now that we're doing. We keep running down the marathons, but it's gonna be everybody watches both Jack Frost movies, listens to that song and the Weird Al stuff, and we're gonna just.
There's also the 12 Days of Guido Christmas.
Is it all about hair gel and like sun tanning?
Yeah, exactly. 5 pinky rings.
Oh god. Oh god. That's rich.
So there's a lot of, even though we all kind of agree that a lot of Christmas stuff is repetitive and we can't stand it and all that, there still is that fun of, at the very least, making fun of it. If not the couple of little gems that are out there, like the Festivus episode of Seinfeld and the movies like Home Alone that are good, and
Doctor Who.
So other than that, I guess that kind of wraps up Christmas talk.
Other than that, Christmas can go fuck itself.
Well, you know,
Wait till this holidays over.
Tony, somebody's gonna like listen to this after we post it, and they're gonna be like, well, you guys, you did not talk about the 1951 Scrooge movie with Alistair Sim.
There you go. We just talked about it.
There we go.
I don't think anybody is going to be upset that we didn't talk about
I don't think
a
anybody's
particular.
this.
I hope everyone who listens to this is a Christmas fan and is very, very offended by all the fucks I give.
I'll just be happy if there's one person talking about how it's mostly a Nordic tradition that we've bastardized, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
They're gonna be offended we didn't talk about Jewish movies.
Are there?
Let's talk about Jewish movies. Why not? What is there? There's like one, and it was a horrible Adam Sandler cartoon.
Yeah, I was
Yo,
just
the
gonna say
Hebrew
8 Crazy
Hammer.
Nights. 8 Crazy Nights, and that's it.
Yep.
Hebrew Hammer.
That's not.
Hebrew Hammers, that's not really a
It's
Hanukkah
not
movie.
said about like the holidays though. It's just about one Jewish guy shooting fucking Andy Dick in the face.
Oh, well, you didn't say Hanukkah movies. You said Jewish movies.
We're talking about Christmas today, so I mean we have to rep Hanukkah a little bit, I guess.
Let's rep it. All right, I got one. The Diary of Anne Frank.
My favorite part is the time when the oil didn't run out and they kept that candle thing lit.
Yo, I
My
remember the
favorite-
Rugrats had an awesome Hanukkah special.
They did. Oh, Chucky was Jewish, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That little
I don't-
red-headed Jew ginger.
He wasn't different enough.
Yeah, that's true.
He was the one that they just decided, you know what? He's got all of it.
He's got freckles, red hair, and fucking buck teeth.
And
why not
glasses.
give him a yarmulke while we're at it?
And the only one with the social anxiety disorders and everything. Poor kid. That's probably why. He's different in every possible way. They
Plus, he
screwed
was
his kid
voiced
up.
by a woman.
When they did that all grown up, he should have been some emo kid that cut himself.
Oh, I love Venus. Yeah, Venus rules.
just gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, I don't think that the people that watch this are going to be offended by us not talking about Hanukkah stuff. I think they're going to be offended by all the ass raping jokes that have been.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
If anything, I'm offended that there weren't more ass raping jokes.
You know what? Me too.
That's a Christmas tradition for me.
Oh, if they get me under the mistletoe, then oh man, gotta take my pants down.
That's how it works. No Kwanzaa stuff, right?
Oh no.
I watched a documentary on the civil rights movement.
There's no like.
That's fucked.
See, I was about to say something kind of poignant because I mean there is that one episode of the Boondocks that kind of talks about Kwanzaa a little bit and is a pretty funny episode.
Yeah, but they also talk about Catcher Freeman in another episode. So I mean, using the Boondocks might be a little against our cause here.
It's a comedy. It's supposed to be funny. Unlike, I don't know. I don't have a counterpoint for that.
There's no like special Dolomites Kwanzaa movie or something like that.
I would watch one if there was. I'd watch
Apparently, they tried to make a Rugrats Kwanzaa special too.
With
I guess that wasn't
Susie.
as popular. It must have been.
Or is that Chucky's too?
Chucky's mom is actually black.
Right.
That was another thing. He never had a mom.
Yes. Wow, this kid's fucked up.
That's because his dad's a loser and he's a red.
Wait, wasn't his mom like Chinese or something?
Wait. Oh wait. Did he get a stepmom later on?
Yeah, she was French. That was it.
No, she's French.
She was French.
Chinese.
Oh my god.
French, same thing.
They're all the same
Oh my
with
God.
their baguettes and their General Tso's chicken.
The General Tso's sandwiches. I would try one. What the hell?
Served on a baguette.
I would try it. Let's
That's
do
delicious.
General Tso's sandwich.
We'll do
Let's
that.
do that.
We'll do that next time we're drinking. in the
Next time we
kitchen.
cook.
Yeah.
You know what, Tony? We need to start documenting me and Sean's cooking time.
There you go. Look forward for that on the new YouTube channel.
That's it. We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're kind of brilliant. I don't mean to toot our own horns in the same room while everybody's recording this.
See, I don't want to do it because I don't want to bite off of Epic Mealtime, but we do things differently than Epic Mealtime.
For example, we finish the food.
Yeah, we actually eat the food. I mean, not that I don't respect fucking Epic Mealtime, but they do destroy their food after they're done
You know
eating.
what? Epic Mealtime needs a goddamn Christmas special.
Hey, don't they?
Let's
Like,
bring this full circle.
With latkes and stuff.
They would break all their teeth on the fruitcakes.
They did have a Christmas episode. It was like there was a white chocolate star that they put on the top of the Christmas tree, and the tree was made out of bacon.
I don't remember any of this. Are you sure this just isn't a fever dream?
I swear, I'll look it up right.
There's actually like 2 videos I found from them. They had a Slaughterhouse Christmas special and they had a bacon tree.
Yes, you're completely right.
Good for them.
Hey, they're fucking Jewish too.
And Canadian.
Those are bastards. They could be Jewish all they want, but Canadian, not in my house.
Well, they've got enough stuff going wrong with them that they might as well be related to Chucky from Rugrats. Anyway, we digress from the Christmas stuff. Is there any other Christmas stuff that we can rag upon or promote or,
What's the best Christmas gift you guys ever got?
Wait,
best.
the only thing that I know we didn't talk about is wasn't the mother from Malcolm in the Middle in a Christmas movie that was like within the last 10 years?
Oh, who cares? She can go fuck herself.
If she was, then
Crazy
that's the
eyes,
reason why
man.
I didn't see it, because I can't
She's
stand
got-
her.
She's got real crazy eyes, so I don't care for her.
The best thing she ever did was guest voice as a judge on The Simpsons.
True.
You
Well,
remind me of me when I was a young boy. Did she just say she was a boy?
What was the for, Nick?
what?
Oh, it's just for a what afterward. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm fresh out of ideas for other topics.
Has anybody seen, like, what is it, Black Christmas?
Oh,
What about-
the horror movie? The one
Yeah.
that's from like the 70s?
there's a very small market, but there are like Christmas horror films, I guess.
Well, that was like the first slasher movie ever made too.
Was it? I never saw either of them because it did get a remake.
Oh, I'll be damned. No, the original one that's from, I believe it's late 70s. It might be the early 80s, but it's credited as being the first full-length slasher film.
Was it actually
Funny enough,
like,
it's
released
near around Christmas. I think it was released around Christmas.
I thought Halloween was like Michael Myers was the first of the
It's one of the first.
We're getting off topic. This is best.
Now we're doing the Halloween. We'll do a Halloween one come October for Fanboys Anonymous.
Yeah.
But we're at like about an hour and a half into this almost, so
yeah, we should probably fuck off.
for the people that have stuck with us and listened to this whole podcast, you'll be seeing more of them.
It's gotta only be an hour, because you figure the timer I'm looking at right now says 1:17, and
you know what?
we didn't start recording. It's probably only like an hour's worth.
These people are probably wanting to kill themselves already, so
Probably 10 minutes
let's
into
just spike the eggnog and be done with it.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that should basically be it then for episode 2 of Fanboys Anonymous. We're going to try to do these once a month, kind of, since we're, of course, parodying a lot of stuff when it comes to Alcoholics Anonymous and everything like that with this website. We might as well...
It's how two of us are drinking as we speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of doing this as a weekly thing, we might as well do it a monthly thing. There's just too much on everybody's schedules to do it weekly, and instead of doing, a whole bunch of short episodes once a week where we're talking about something for 20 minutes and we don't really get started, it's better to knock out an hour to 2 hours of a real broad topic, or sometimes maybe a real specific one. We might, like, when Man of Steel comes out, since that's a really solid fanboys type of film, we might do something about that. We're pretty much going to stay away from game talk on here because of the I Got Gameplay subsection of Fanboys Anonymous. So
that's my turf.
It'll pretty much always be something movie-related, TV shows, maybe music if we start getting into some music stuff on that, and comic books, so on and so forth. But we're going to try to keep them very generalized, sort of like this, just Christmas from the perspective of fanboys and everything along with that. As far as plugs go for everybody and everything coming up and all that, I'll knock mine out while I'm on a roll as it is. Go check out outonlimbs.com, my social commentary website, where you can see those 2 articles I mentioned earlier, the one about the major flaw in Christmas movies, as well as why nothing is going to happen on December 21st. And if you're a fan of wrestling, you can always go to smarkoutmoment.com. That's Smark with an M, not Snark. But of course you can find everything that I'm into when it comes to Bleacher Report, comicbookmovie.com, so on and so forth, from all of the Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts. If you can't find it, I don't know what to tell you, because you type in my name and it should pop up 1,000 things on Google. So go to amangotree.com. You'll see a whole list of all the accounts that you can follow, and just stay tuned and, pay attention to Fanboys Anonymous, because we are going to be, now that the holiday rush is going to stop preventing people from posting articles as often as possible, we're going to start knocking out a whole bunch and hopefully recruit some more members and get stuff really rolling. But who wants to plug some of their stuff and how you can follow them?
Thank you, Sean.
You should have plugged that up, is what you should have done.
If you type that into Google, I'll come up. So,
how do you spell it?
So, what we've been up to, I'm going to keep her out.
Why can't you?
No. So I just prevented my dog from coming in and disturbing. So anyway, what we've been up to, nothing because of the holidays. I've been on my free time trying to play video games. But what's new that's coming up, I don't know if anyone who's listening actually knows me or any of my past musical projects, but Lover Logic is coming back. We're going to record another album. It's mainly going to be me and Matt Gruber, aka Q-Tip, and I'm going to be the main songwriter, and he's going to, be the co. But yeah, that's going to happen. And as soon as the holidays are over, Fanboys Anonymous posts, and I'm going to actually put up the latest episode of I Got Gameplay, where it's me, Sean, and a friend of ours named Ant Dog Chillin'. We talk about Resident Evil, the entire series. It's about 3 hours long, so
it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 parter.
I may split it, and it's going to be very rough, but I don't care because it's so long. I don't feel like editing it into any more episodes than just 2. But what about you, Sean? What do you have?
Not much else.
Word up.
Word to your mother. Changing these pants now.
So the Lover Logic stuff, we could probably see some updates about that on Fanboys Anonymous under the music section when it comes time to it. And Sam and Mike?
Yeah, I'll announce something. I need to find somebody who can actually edit videos, and anyone who's interested, but I want to start a YouTube channel.
Oh, hey, Sam.
Oh, no.
You're talking to a guy right here.
Oh, cool. Well, I want to make a YouTube channel to actually tutor chemistry and physics.
That is awesome.
That's a good idea.
I've been a chemistry tutor for about 4 years now for the university, and I've known a lot of people come in with like the same questions. There's a general area, so
that could actually become very big on YouTube. So I'm actually all for this, and I am excited for this.
Yep, you've got the support of the A Mango Tree Network.
Great. All right.
Anything else?
Mike?
Well, you can follow me personally on the Facebook and the Twitter by searching for MrPaden. That's Mr. Paden. And you can find my work by checking out Newbie TV, where we make original content for people who are fanboys of nerd stuff, just like probably anybody who's listening to this. We have 2 new series that we're going to be premiering the pilots for at the end of January 27th. They'll be available everywhere, YouTube, Blip, any website that we can get it on that'll show it. One of them is going to be called Two Oafs, which is about these 2 southern yokels who are always looking for ways to get rich quick, and every way that they find to get money involves some type of video game. And in the first episode, they're going to be going to Aperture Laboratories to sell their body to science. If you don't know what Aperture Laboratories is, it's from the video game series Portal, which is one of the most excellent video game series I've ever played.
Amen.
One of you guys can back me up on that.
Amen.
I think every single one of us could back you up on that. If you don't like Portal, something is wrong with you, and close this right now and get the hell out of here.
So yeah, just search anywhere on the web for Newbie TV. We're on the Facebook, we're on the Twitter, we're on YouTube. It's new-b.tv, or you could even just search for it as regular letters. You should be able to find it. That's all I got. Thanks for having me, Anthony.
Yep, thanks for all you guys to show up for not only doing the podcast, but also for the people that are paying attention and watching the show and everything like that, for everything under the A Mango Tree Grove. That is it then for episode 2, and episode 3 should be out sometime in January. We don't have a topic yet in mind, but we'll see what comes our way. So this meeting is officially closed.